today I want to show you how we can transform the chatbot conversation into the valuable insight using the SQL query, right? So essentially, when users interact with the bot, all the chatbot related conversations are getting stored in the Dataverse table, right? So inside the Dataverse table, as you can see in this diagram, there is a table called conversation transcript, right? In this table, all the conversations are getting stored, right? All the message from bot and user, everything is getting stored, right? So let me just go you and show you the demo, right? So essentially, as you can see here, this is the table which I was talking, right? And in this table, we have a conversation bot ID, right? This is the ID of the bot, and then the bot name, right? And then content has all the information related to the conversation, right? What the message user typed and what the bot responded, right? And then other session related information. So everything is available in this content JSON, right? And then what I will do is I will show you how we can parse this JSON, right, to get the valuable insights, right? And if you see in this table, there are some other columns like when the conversation started, then the conversation transcript ID, right, which is the unique ID for this conversation, right, when it was created, right, and there these are the some other standard columns in this table, right, but other key important columns are here is the the bot metadata, right. So essentially this has a bot ID, tenant ID, right, those kind of information, right. And the another important field here is the name, right. So basically this name is it is like the conversation ID followed by the bot ID, then the batch ID, right. So basically sometimes in the same conversation if there are multiple sessions you will see the batch ID like underscore 1 G 2 3 something like that, right. So these are the some of the key field in this table, right. So now let me go ahead and show you how we can transform this data to get the some valuable insight, right? And this is the query which I built, right? And here what I'm doing is I'm going and then getting the important and key information from the chatbot conversation, right? So as you can see here, so this is the conversation transcript table and I'm using this open JSON function, right? And then what I'm doing here is I'm parsing this JSON information. So before I go into this parsing logic, let me just show you how this JSON looks like, right? So as you can see here, go here. So this is how the data looks like in that JSON, right? So you see here. So it start with the activities, right? Inside the activities there are multiple value type like conversation info, session info, right. And then there are internal type like event messages, right. And essentially just since we want to create a valuable insight, we are interested here in the session info and then message from user and then from the bot, right. So those are the information key information we want to parse and we want to see how the data will look, right. So let me go back to my SQL query. So as you can see, so first what I'm doing is I'm filtering the by the top level node, right, activities, and then I'm getting the individual element or field information, right. So I'm interested here the value type. So value type could be conversation info or session info, right. And then time stamp for that particular activity. Then I'm also interested for when the session started, when the session ended, right. I'm also interested what is the engagement region, whether it is a unengaged or engaged, right. And then I'm also interested for outcome, right. So if it is an engaged session, the outcome could be escalated, abandoned or resolved, right. And then I am also interested to know how many turn in that particular session, right. So basically turn is nothing but like the back and forth message between bot and user, right. So those we can get in this turn count, right. And then we also have here the form ID and role ID, form role. So form ID is nothing but the ID from the user side or the bot side, right? From role, it indicate whether the message is from the user or bot, right? And then type could be like event, trace, right? Or message, right? These are the different types. And text would be the actual text, right? Text, right? Like the text from the bot or from the user, right? And since I want to limit my data to like session info, and then I want only the, I don't want event information, right? Because event, that from the chatbot, from the programmatically we can send event information, I'm not interested here, right? So I'm just putting not event, and then I'm looking only for specific chatbot data. So that's why I put the condition of give me the data of this particular chatbot, right? And then finally what I'm doing here is I'm getting these all information, right? So basically the bot name, right? And then conversation transcript ID when the conversation started, and complete JSON of the chatbot conversation. And then I'm also getting here is the size of the content, right? I want to understand for each conversation how much it storage it is consuming, right? And I'm also transforming based on the from role, that whether it is a user message or bot message. So from role is, if it is equal to 1, it is a user message, else it is a bot message, right? And this is the type and text I'm getting. I'm also interested to get the timestamp for that each activity, right? So essentially here timestamp is in the Unix format. So I'm converting into the normal standard date and time format, and these are the other information like turn count, value, session start, right? And then here I want to also know that how long that session was, right? So I'm just getting the session duration, right? So I'm using this date diff function, which is extracting the start date and time and end time, right, of the session. Then these are the engagement result and outcome. So as you can see here in the result, right? So we have bot name, we have conversation ID, right? And then for the that conversation when it was started, content, right? And this is the size, right? So basically for this conversation it took, it consumed this much of size in the MB, right? And this also, in here also we can see the different messages, right? So this message was from the bot, this message was from the user, right? And then for each message we can also see the timestamp, right? When the bot responded, when the user responded, right? These are the very important information, right? And then as you can see here we have the turn count, right? So for messages there is no turn, this turn information is available only for the session. So you, as you can see here, for this session information we'll have the turn count 5. So if you see here 1 2 3 4 5, so these are the 5 messages, right? And then this is the when the session started, when the session ended, and looks like this session was there for 1 minute, right? And then this is the result of the session, right? So this session was engaged, and then this was the outcome, right? So this was the final outcome of the session, right? So it is abandoned, right? So this is how we can generate the valuable insight by transforming the conversation information which is available in Dataverse table, right? Using the this simple SQL query. Hope you will like this video. Thank you for watching.